Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If you enjoyed today's content, please click like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Please share the video to your friends and family if you think this is something they would be interested in. In the last video, we talked about the comparatives, so now let's go on to the superlatives. Just like for comparatives, adjectives and adverbs also have a superlative form. In our examples, fast is both an adjective and an adverb. It is an adjective when it describes a noun, however it becomes an adverb if it describes a verb. It is also important to note that in the superlative form, we need to add the article the. So we always say the fastest, the cleanest, the widest, the biggest, the smallest. We always need to include the in our superlative. We use the superlative when we want to say that something has either the highest or the lowest degree or quality. After searching through Google, I found out that Denmark is the cleanest country in the world. So they're ranked number 1. They are the cleanest. In the second example, Gary is one of the most interesting people I've met, which means that out of all the people I've met, Gary is only one of the most interesting. Now to form the superlative, in school we used to do drills like old, older, oldest, strange, stranger, strangest, dry, drier, driest. We used to do drills like these when we were in elementary school. However, it wasn't taught that in the superlative we needed to add the. So it should be old, older, the oldest, strange, stranger, the strangest, dry, drier, the driest. For two-syllable adjectives, sometimes you can add most, or sometimes you need to add the est at the end. For the first example, gorgeous, the most gorgeous, because we cannot say gorgeousest. In the second example, we change y to I and add est, so busy becomes the busiest. For simple, we can use both. We can say the most simple or the simplest. Again, there are only a few adjectives that can do both adding most and adding est, but do not use both at the same time. You cannot say the most simplest. For adjectives that have 3 or more syllables, all you need to do is add most. You can say colorful, more colorful, the most colorful, enchanting, more enchanting, and the most enchanting, relevant, more relevant, the most relevant. So if you are not sure which one to use, for 2 or more syllables, all you do is you add the most. So the most interesting, the most pliable, the most beautiful. So it's a lot easier to think of it that way. I also covered this on the last video with irregular adjectives. So the base form is good becomes better and then the best. Bad becomes worse in the comparative and the worst in the superlative. For adverbs that end in ly, just add the most slowly, the most gently. For one-syllable adverbs, all you need to do is add est, the nearest, the lowest. For irregular adverbs, it's the same as the irregular adjectives. Well becomes better in the comparative and then the best in the superlative. Badly becomes worse and then the worst. just like the comparatives, we can also complete our superlatives in several ways. So to complete a superlative, one thing that we can use is we can use in and then a place. So I can say that Jupiter is the biggest planet in, and then the place is our solar system. So it can be in the world, in our office, in my family, or something like that. Another way to complete it is by using an adjective clause. So this is a clause, it is not a sentence. So Phantom, or The Phantom of the Opera, is the best musical I have ever seen. So in the last part, we can say that out of all the musicals I've ever seen, Phantom of the Opera is the best. It is number one. One more example of completing a comparative is by using of all. So among my cars, the Ferrari is the most expensive of all. It means of all my cars. So out of, let's say, 5 cars, the Ferrari is number one. It is the most expensive. Or you can use the opposite. You can say it is the least expensive, which is the opposite of the most. So English is the least difficult language to learn, which means out of all the languages, English is the least difficult. Of course, we can also say the easiest. Lastly, one of is something that most people find difficulty in using correctly, because there is a pattern to one of. So you can say one of the best, one of the worst, one of the tallest, one of the cleanest. Now when we use one of, it means one out of many. In this case, we need to use a plural noun. So one of the biggest cities in the world. So one out of many cities. In the example, one of the best places to visit is Tokyo, because it is one out of many places that you can visit, or one of the best places to visit. So in this case, we need a singular verb, which is, because we're only talking about one of and not referring to places. Well, that's it for today. If you learned something from the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so I can continue making these videos for you, and I hope you continue to practice your English. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.